I didn't bring my microphone today, so hopefully the audio comes out all right. But I figure I get to yapping about a couple things that are on the agenda. First things first is my book Mirror Talk is out on Amazon, and it's also, the audio book is on most other platforms. Hasn't been approved for Audible yet, but it should be on there soon. Anyways, I was doing some research for a documentary about Pittsburg, California, and all the musicians that came out of there, and how the city basically doesn't really support the art community at all. Like a lot of the artists that came out of there, if you walk through the city, there's no remnants of them. You don't even know that anybody's from there, and it's crazy because, I mean, they do that with athletes too. They'll give them a little shine, but after that, it goes away. Prime example, I met a wife and a husband and their son not too long ago, and we were talking, and they were from Eugene, Oregon. And through conversation, I remembered that Ken Simonton went to that college out there, and I believe he broke a bunch of records. And we started talking, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot Ken went there. And the kid couldn't have been more than 13 years old. And he was like, Ken Simonton? Like, the motherfucker's a legend and shit out there. And I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, I went to high school with Ken. But anyway, clearly they had an appreciation for him that's still going on today. Now, I don't know Ken that well, but I know him well enough to know that he's not really tripping off that, but it's dope that people in Oregon still appreciate him. Now, I say that to say it because he's from the soil, and I know he's from there. And people that went to school with him know he's from there. But if you were an outsider and you just paid a visit to Pittsburgh right now, there's no poster, there's no statue, there's no mural, there's no nothing. The last time I was in the P, I got off the BART coming in from the airport. I just flown in, and I saw a bunch of signs with like military, police officers, and all these dudes from like I don't know when it was, but I didn't know any of them. I didn't see not one artist up there. So they can spend that money to put those flags of military servicemen or all these people that we have no clue who they are. And it's no disrespect to them, but it's like, where are the artists? You've got a whole legend walking around the P right now, Terry Blinks. And it's crazy because if you've ever heard Terry sing, you know that fool can sing. And how many funerals has he sang at? Same thing with my cousin, Barbara Jean. I believe I heard that they maybe gave her a little bit of shine at the Creative Arts Building, but it's like, how long did that take? Barbara Jean was there. Her voice was insane. And I mean, she sang with Terry also, or vice versa, however you want to say it, but fact of the matter is, I don't think they got the shine, or I don't think she got the shine when she was around, and Terry surely doesn't get the appreciation that he deserves for the legend he is. We can keep going down the line. You got the Jacka. Whether you want to say he was fully from there or not, that's up to you, but he spent enough time in the area to definitely have been inspired by the soil. Get the mob figures. You've got, who else? Rosie Gaines was singing that song, Diamonds and Pearls, with Prince. You've got Pete Escobedo. I know he comes back and like the old timers love it that he's, from there, but still, it's not enough documentation, not enough appreciation, I feel. Oh, you got AWACS. You've got, was it the PhDs? You got Mundi. You got all kinds of talent that comes out of the P. I'm leaving myself out because I don't want to make it too personal, but but it's kind of crazy that, I could do a show up in Anchorage, Alaska, Florida, Oregon, here, and it's all love. Like, I remember I tried to do a show when the boys from Alaska were in town. We tried to do a show in one of the coffee shops in downtown, and they wanted me to pay to perform. And I was like, I didn't take it personally because they had no clue who I was or who they were, but, it was a reality check that, like I said, there's no real, there's not a database, there's nothing. And it's usually too late until the city will give you an appreciation of what's deserving of the work that you've done. And whether you like the work or not, the fact of the matter is these are artists that have came from the soil and contributed to the artistry of the area. And also, how do you inspire the next generation when there's no notice that these artists were touched by the soil of your city? Mind you, this is not the only city that does this. We'll get to the others at another time, but right now the focus is on Pittsburg. When you go to places like Rome or Egypt, you've got the pyramids, you've got the Colosseum, you've got all these great monuments of the people that built those things, and people can be like, damn, my ancestors built that shit. Wow, that's crazy. That inspires me to do something. And this has nothing to do with color. This has nothing to do with representation. No, none of that. This has everything to do with how the soil influences you and how the soil has fed these artists. And these artists have fed that soil back. But yet, the city just doesn't appreciate them or put anything in order to let people know that this is where this art came from. It's crazy. So, while I was doing the research for the documentary, a lot of this stuff was coming up. And it gets even deeper to all the connections and the interweavings of how this stuff works and like who influenced who. And there's way more artists that either I haven't, that I forgot about on this session or I just haven't, I just don't remember. But there's a lot more on the list. And when you tied it in with the entire area of East Contra Costa and then the entire Bay, oh shit. Don't get me started on the Bay Area conspiracy on all that stuff. Motherfucker, why don't we have a statue of Bruce Leach? San Francisco. That's number one. Anyways, back to the P. Do better, Pittsburgh. Do better. And I know you can. And the reason why I know you can is because I used to work for the city. Oh, shit. Do better.